Hello, my crafty friends. I am very excited. This is the first episode in our Funday Monday series. And during this time, we're going to explore a variety of different things, anything from different crochet techniques to crochet stitches to smaller projects outside of our larger scale Wednesday on the Hook projects. So I'm excited about this, and I hope that you are too, and I hope that you will definitely mark your calendars for this episode to come out every Monday. So today we're going to look at different ways that you can actually change colors within your work. Neither one is right, neither one is wrong. You just have to find the one that works for you. And I will share with you the one that I do, but I did do some research and I looked at different ways that different people do change their colors out. Some I did, when I first started because it was the classic way. But again, there is no right or wrong. You just have to find what works for you and what makes you feel comfortable and confident about your work. All right, so let's get started. All right, the first method we're going to look at is the very classic and very, very old school version. It is not one that I personally would recommend. And it is simply where you just cut your yarn, pull that out just a little bit, grab your new color, and just tie a basic knot. And then you just trim off these edges. Okay. And I personally don't recommend that. Honestly, I think it's kind of sloppy. You have to do what you feel works best for you. The second method is the one that I see a lot of people use. And before you complete your final stitch, let's pull that out. And we're doing half double crochet, so we're going to yarn over and we're going to insert our hook into that last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, so we have our 3 loops. But before we complete our half double crochet, we're going to grab our new color. And we're just going to loop it on the hook. Nothing fancy. And hold it down and just pull it through. Then we're going to take our existing colors and our existing color, tighten it down, and then pull the new color so it's nice and tight. And then we're going to chain 1 and pull it down to secure it on the work. Okay? Now, you can do 2 things. You can either snip your tails off because you've already secured it down, or you can turn your work, take these tails from the old color and the new color, and you can fold them behind the work and lay them across the top of the work here, like so. And then hold it into place, tighten your yarn down. And then you can hold them up against the work and secure them to the work. So when you insert your hook, if I can get it in there, you want to make sure your tails are also included. Grab your yarn, pull through, and make your stitch. Half double crochet or whatever stitch you're doing. And then just continue doing that, making sure you're getting your tails in the work there. And just continue to secure it down. And you can do that for a couple stitches. And then you can just trim off the excess yarn. And there you go. There's another color change. And to show you what it looks like on the other side. So just like the last time, when you still have 3 loops on your hook before completing your final half double crochet or whatever stitch you're trying to do, before you do it, let's put this back on the hook. The last method, we just kind of casually loop the yarn over the hook. You can take your new color and create a slip knot and then put that slip knot on your hook and then tighten it to the hook and then simply just pull it through that stitch and then pull everything down so it's nice and tight. Chain 1 and secure it. Turn your work. Same thing. You can snip off your tails or you can fold them behind the work and secure them down in as you're working. And then trim off any extras. And there you go. Again, you've changed colors. So this next method is just like the last two. You can either casually yarn over on your hook and hold it on there and slip it through the stitches. You can do another slip knot, but this time when you pull it through to complete that stitch and tighten it down, instead of wrapping both tails and working them in the work, you can actually take the tail of the new color with the working yarn and you can wrap them both around the hook and pull them through when you make that chain 1. Turn your work and you can also wrap both of them on the hook as well. And again, you can pull your existing tail behind or you can snip it off. Again, wrap both yarns and then just continue to do your work. And then when you do that, it eats up a good bit of that tail. And then you can just get your scissors. I don't know if you can see that. That white's kind of hard to see. I didn't realize that was going to be a difficult yarn to work with the lighting. But you can just snip it off and then continue working as you normally would. And so you've secured that one tail in with the actual stitches. And as you can tell, it doesn't look any different than if you didn't include it in the stitch and you just secured it to the work with the blue tail. So you can see I've got 2 stitches left before completing and finishing this row. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and change my color. So let's get our work here, and we're going to cut and leave about 6 inches of yarn left to work with. We're going to grab our new color and we're going to lay it right across the old color just like that. I'm going to pull it down so you can see it. And then we're just going to twist them and create this little twisty. Now I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it in a way that you can see it better and understand what I did. So here's the existing color. Here's the new color. Take the existing color and wrap it towards the work, the project. All right, take the new color and wrap it away from your work. And you've created this tight, secure. So now, I'm going to find this end piece here, and we're going to pull it just about an inch past the last stitch that we did. Okay, and let's get our yarn back on the hook. And we're just going to tighten that down by pulling that yarn. So we're back at the work. We've got that little inch there. We're just going to tuck it back with our thumb. And then we're just going to wrap the yarn like we normally would and insert it into the stitch and complete the stitch. And do the last stitch. All right, and then here's where our new color is going to start coming into play. And then just chain 1, turn your work, and then work as you normally would. And you can see that tail right there. And then literally you can just take, because you have secured both those in, you can just snip off both those tails and then come back and just continue making your stitches, whichever stitch you're using. Again, I'm using the half double crochet for this tutorial. And then there you go. And that's your color change. Okay, so these next 2 methods are kind of my go-to methods, and depending on the yarn and depending on the project will determine which one of these methods I actually use. So let's go ahead with the next one. So when you come to the end of your work and you've done the last stitch of that row and you've completed that row and you're ready to start your color, you would just kind of snip off a little bit of yarn and chain one up to secure it. Pull it tight. And then you're going to get your new yarn, your new color, and then insert your hook where you last left off. Just pull that new color in. And just pull it till you have enough of a tail that you can weave in. And simply just do a classic little knot. Tie it down so it's nice and secure. And then just go right back into your stitch. And same thing as some of the other methods I've taught you. You can either do just the working piece of yarn and wrap your tails around and secure them in your work as you go. You can wrap them both around the hook and pull them through and do your chain one to secure. And at that point, you can cut off that little bit of a tail and then turn your work, secure your existing tail so we can work it in, and just do like you had been with all the other ones. Just go ahead and start making your stitches, and you've got your new color attached to your work. All right. Oops. And then you've got your new colorway started. And I got a little bit of a tail right there. So I'm going to trim it. But there's your new colorway. So for this final method, I've worked up another little swatch here, and as you can see, I've got 1, 2, and 3 stitches left to do to complete this row. And there's kind of a reason that I left that many stitches out, even though we're wanting to change colors at the very end, but you'll kind of see. This is called making a magic knot to change your colorway up. And so the best way to do that is to turn your project that you're working on this way, and we're going to cut off maybe about 6 to 8 inches of a tail like that. And then we're going to get our new color and we're going to bring it in going this way. So we're just going to run the new color parallel about the 6-8 inches with the old color, and then we're just going to take the we're going to take the old color and we're just going to bring it over and do a classic simple knot onto the new color like that. Just pull a little tug. All right, then we're going to take the new color and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to tie it onto the old color and give it a little snug, just like that. So your yarn should look something like this. And you can see where it's attached to each other. All right. Now, because I don't want to lose my work, I'm just going to pull this up just a tad bit. But here's where the magic happens. When you pull the old color and the new color and you pull them away from each other, it comes together and it creates this knot, and it's very nice and snug. Okay, then you can take these little tails right here and cut them as close to that knot as you possibly can. And you have something like this. And like, I can even, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's a little bit of an excess right there. And see that? That's your little knot. And yes, it is a knot, but when you work it into your work, you're not going to know that it's even there. So then let's grab our hook and let's complete our stitches as we would. And just finish off that row. And we're just going to pull that knot right on through. And there we go. We're successfully, seamlessly changing our color up and just continuing it on to the next row. And it just makes a beautiful, smooth transition. Pull my yarn from the opposite direction I normally do, so it's a little bit, there we go. All right. So there we go. And if you turn it back over, and you can see it's a very smooth, successful color change. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be very helpful. If you're new to my channel and you have not already, please be sure and hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss any future videos. We do meet 3 times a week. We meet on Mondays for Funday Monday, where we either go over crochet techniques, crochet stitches, or work on small projects. We meet on Wednesdays for Wednesday on the Hook, where we work on a project series. Right now, we're currently working on a hoodie. And then on Fridays, we meet for From the Cup to the Hook conversations, where we just kind of sit around and talk about everything yarn and everything crochet. So thank you again for joining us for our first Funday Monday. I hope you have a great week. Be joyful, be crafty in your own way, and create some magic. See you soon. Bye.